Hi, this is the meeting of the Community Preservation Committee on Wednesday, December 7th at 7 o'clock. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that the meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID number 840-0877-2826 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, the Assistant Town Manager at atm@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 100 prior to the meeting. All right, thank you, everybody. Rainy and dreary out there, but it is humid, so it really was weird feeling when you go outside.
Yep.
Oh, well. Okay, moving on. I'm going to say approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as written?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
All right, Barry.
I'll second.
Okay, Colleen seconds. And do the roll call. Let's see if I can get this done up right. Julie?
Yes.
Jess?
Aye.
Colleen?
Aye.
Barry?
Aye.
And Jason looks like he's on.
Yes.
All right, and the chair says aye, so we've got,
And Beth is there too.
And
And Beth
Beth
says
is-
yes.
oh, and Beth, there you are. Okay, I'm sorry. One of these days I'll get the view set so that I can see everybody. There we go. All right, that's good. So we have a full quorum or a full house. All right, so as the agenda is written. Now, approval of minutes. I know Colleen resent out the minutes of October 5th. I only have 2 corrections. I don't know if anybody has anything else, but I just found 2 typos, Colleen, okay?
And you know what? They may have been ones that were pointed out before. I knew there was a comment I missed. I didn't write it down, so I knew there was something else that needed to be changed.
Okay, on page 3, commission is spelt wrong for historical commission.
Oh.
And then on page 4, Beth's last name is misspelt as well as committee.
Sure.
Those are the only 3 things that I found. Anything else for anybody else?
Just that the planning board should be planning board, not planning committee
Oh,
on page 3.
yeah,
And that was it. I think.
okay. So
Oh,
can,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead,
And
Jess.
just, yeah, no, I think that's it. That's it.
All right. Can I get a motion to accept the October 5th meeting?
Motion
Minutes.
to approve the minutes.
Okay, Beth
That's corrected.
has
Correct,
corrected.
that's correct.
Yeah. Can I get a second?
Seconded.
Julie seconded. All right, let's do the roll call. Julie,
Yes.
Jess,
I,
Colleen,
Aye.
Barry,
Aye.
Beth,
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Chair says yes, so it's approved. Then the next minutes are,
can I
Pardon?
just ask one thing? As the actual clerk, can I go ahead and sign these as accepted?
I think so, because you are the clerk.
Right, and I'll just put clerk after my name. That way I can get them posted,
Correct.
because I
So,
believe we have.
Jess, do you
received-
need me, you don't need me to change the,
No, I can do those.
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
'Cause I know we do have an old set of minutes that our chair did years ago. Never been posted. don't think.
I think that was a February date.
Yes. Might very well have
I
been.
think it was 2020.
Please strike that from the record.
Yes. What record?
What record? The tape. Yes. If I can find them, believe me, they will get posted, I promise. Okay. The next one is the minutes for November 2nd. I did not see anything on this one for edits or corrections or
I
whatever.
just have a minor clarification on the update at the end where I spoke to the Pocket Forest Project. The heading says that, like it says the Wild and Scenic Stewardship Committee, but it should just be an open space update because it's not related to Wild and Scenic.
Okay,
Thank you.
not a problem.
Okay, can I hear a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
So moved?
All right, Beth,
Seconded.
Colleen seconds. All right, roll call, Julie,
Yes.
Jess,
I,
Colleen,
Aye.
Barry,
Aye.
Beth,
Yes.
and Jason. All right, and the chair says aye, so that's all done. All right, I'll be honest with you, there has not been any correspondences or invoices. So with that, I think we're doing really good. Public participation, I don't see anybody logged in. Again, it's just a reminder that if anybody has any types of questions for the CPC, we do have an email address of cpc@ayer.ma.us that you can email us, as well as contact Carly Antonellis with any type of questions. And we will be glad to answer the questions or find out the information for you one way or another. So, I just realized I don't have old business on here. Again, I don't, other than I know that we'll pick up things on committee reports of things that are ongoing, but everything is just moving forward. I do know that I think everybody does know some of the newspapers have been digitized and have been released out on the web for the Turner Public Spirit by the library. Also the sign for the funding by CPC has been put up over at Norton Athletic Field over at the high school. So I think that that's worked out really well. So anything else do people have for old business? Nope, hearing crickets. We can move on to new business. And again, I think we're doing pretty good with it being December. I haven't heard of any type of new projects coming forward. I know that the howitzer has been removed from the front of the town hall, and the candle celebration went very, very well. Nice and well, a lot of participants. So
I was there. The Neshoba concert band was fantastic. They were phenomenal.
that's what I heard.
They played a good hour. I mean, James and I filmed it, but it was still enjoyable. It was very well done. I think I'd seen them back a few years ago, but they still put on a really good show. Really
All
good.
right. All right. Sound like Ed Sullivan there for a minute. A real good show. Hi, that's good to hear. Anything else that people have really for new business? No? All right. I'm going to move on to committee reports. Julie?
I think since the last time I saw you, we actually approved the preliminary plan for Stratton Hill. We had Shop and Save, that property before us. And I forget exactly what hold on, I have it in front of me. Oh, sure. Really? I had it right here. It's not that one. It's this one. I don't want to tell you what it was called. Site plan modification. I knew it wasn't a site plan approval. So we had a site plan modification that went through for the Shop and Save property. And besides that, we're just kind of looking at some current ongoing projects and just checking in on how things are going work plan wise for our 2023.
Excellent. I know that people have been talking about we need a lot better of future planning, long-term planning. So hopefully, boards are going to start looking at that. All right. Well, that's good for planning. Thank you.
Thanks.
Jess, conservation?
Oh, not really much new. We haven't met for a month. We're meeting tomorrow night. So we finished up with our Stratton Hill recommendation, which the planning board accepted. We're in a slow phase, so we're just plodding along, conserving our energies.
Sounds familiar. All right, that sounds good. Thank you. Colleen, anything from the Affordable Housing Trust?
No, we also did not meet last month, so we haven't met since October. We meet next week. We're continuing to, work on the revision of the rental assistance guidelines so that we can launch the next round of applications, but that's it.
All right. For the Affordable Housing Committee, we're looking at ways to probably change some of the zoning bylaws to include additional type of housing units for affordable housing instead of just being inclusionary housing, maybe reduction of some lot sizes and whatever. So we've been looking at that. We've got a meeting coming up on Friday. And then the Ayer Housing Authority has not met yet in December. So no update on that. All right, Barry? Historic-
Actually, we met last week. Actually, I want to ask you, Janet, if you had heard anything from Calvin yet?
We sort of like cross paths. So no, as soon as I hear something, I'll go ahead and I'll email the Historic Commission.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
And because of the surveys all done, we're looking at resurrecting the oral history project, although we're not sure if we want to bring back the Memories Roadshow. I'd have to look into that a little bit more or do something on our own. But either way, it's going to be an undertaking for a small group. But we're still just investigating at this point. And the other thing is 42 Park Street. We're talking about, I'd like to see whether the owner has any plans for 42 Park Street. I mean, it's been sitting there vacant since he purchased it. And I spoke with Alan that, I'd hate to see that home be demolished or just go beyond repair. Because right now it is the oldest house left in Ayer. So we're trying to come up with, he wants to go down, him and I go down and talk with the owner and see what plans he has. And I had asked Alan, I said, come up, we can brainstorm and give me some ideas or pointers on what we could do to, preserve that building. But I don't know if the owner at this point anymore, if the owner is interested in renovating it to make it habitable. So.
All right. Well, keep us
But it
up
would
to
be
date.
a shame to lose that building.
Yeah, I didn't realize it goes further in the back.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of property in the back.
Yeah.
I do. Because I was there and Ruth was there and Alan was there the day that it was sold. I'm trying to think, it had to be at least 4, maybe 5 years ago. And since then, we had been inside, even in the basement. The basement was kind of creepy, but you know, it's a really old basement. So, but surprisingly, I mean, the roof didn't leak. And even though the window, what he would do is leave some of the windows kind of cracked so that they had an airflow, so the air didn't get trapped in there and moisture and everything else. So, but again, that was a few years back that we even toured the place. But I just like to see if there's anything that either he'd like to do with it, or we could do something with it, just to button it up and preserve it. I'm not sure what that is. That's why I'm talking with Alan and see what kind of pointers or what kind of help that he can get. So,
All right. That sounds great. Thank you. All right, Beth, for open space or?
For open space, just an update on the Pocket Forest project. So we did have a well-attended public meeting in Ayer on November 16th at Town Hall. And it was just an introduction and kickoff meeting for the project. And then on December 17th at 10 a.m., meeting in the parking lot across from St. Mary's Church. We're going to do site visits for the potential Ayer sites that have sort of been the highest priority candidates for the Pocket Forest locations. So we'll be visiting multiple sites that day, and we will have some hot drink refreshments and donuts and light, snacks and things like that as well, for people to have to stay sustained while visiting, these sites in potentially cool weather. So more publicity is going to come out on that, including a map showing the potential sites that'll be visited that day.
Nice.
The Devon's site walks are this Saturday, the 10th. And one of those sites does include the middle school. So it is, of interest potentially to Ayer residents who might have children going there. And then there is also a West Main Street site that's just right by the Devon's jurisdictional boundary. It's right by Shriver Job Corps. Mass Development actually owns and manages still a parcel of land that sort of fronts West Main Street right by the Shriver property. So that's another candidate site for the Devon's area. And so right now we're pursuing one pilot project that'll get installed sort of next spring, and it looks like that could be by the train station, but we're not, fully certain. After these site walks happen and we get more input from the public, we'll be reevaluating that. So one pilot project will occur and be planted in the spring. And then in subsequent years, we hope that there will be a few projects that would get planted at different locations in Ayer and in Devon's. And so these potential sites are, for consideration for those future plantings as well.
I know that there's been questions with regards to the reopening of some land in between where Kelly's Hallmark used to be and the Fletcher building, as well as right as you turn onto Park Street. That property now is back up for sale. I know that I sent an email to Alan, but I haven't heard anything back. Have you heard anything about those two parcels?
So which one on Park Street are you talking about? I'm not aware of that one.
Right as I don't believe,
it's on Main Street, right?
well, one's on Main Street, okay, between, like I say, Kelly's and Fletcher building. The other one on Park Street, I thought I saw the buildings for sale there next to where Morris Babcock is going to be building. That was purchased before, but now it's back on the market.
I'm not familiar with the Park one. The Main Street one is just really small, and I don't know what they intend to do with it. I've always thought that's a great location for us to do like a little plaza with outdoor dining and a food truck, that would pull up occasionally and, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, definitely some plantings there would be great, but I don't think it's a great site for the Pocket Forest project itself.
Yeah. lights,
because it's really
lights.
close to the parking lot and the buildings, and you don't want the roots impacting, things like that.
Mhm. Okay, no problem. Like I say, I've still been talking with Robert with regards to having some sort of garden area in the back of Town Hall, just so that you can continue the brick walkway. So we're not walking on the grass as we're leaving from the voting area, so.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And like a little, like place with stones or something, or stumps, that sort of thing that kids can just kind of like hop around on, and just, something to engage that space, I think is a really nice idea. And it's become such a nice extension of the fall festival as well. So something that could serve a purpose for the festival, as well as,
Okay.
just beautifying and providing more shade and greenery around there too.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. All right. All right, that's it. And now, best for last. Go for it, Jason. How's Parks and Rec?
Terrible. No, I'm just kidding. The playground's been playground's been removed. The trees have been cut down that we needed to cut down. Started on the remediation. We found out that there was a time capsule buried
Whoa!
when they built that playground in '89. We don't know exactly where it is, so we're trying to figure that out, and hopefully we'll be able to dig that up before, obviously we start to pour the new equipment and everything. That's not going to come until the springtime, so we're kind of interested to see that. We've been in touch with the person that was part of the group that buried that, so stay tuned, see what happens there. We're trying to get some pricing from Randy from Beta for the next phases of the project. Obviously, there's been some cost increase that we should have anticipated based in the economic environment. So we're trying to get those here in the next couple of weeks. When is the deadline to submit requests for CPC funds for next fiscal year?
I'm going to say February. The town meeting's May? So with
Yeah.
that, we've got to have a public hearing by April.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we should have that. We should have that by the end of this month anyway, like what exactly we're looking for costs and everything.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like any of these grants are going to turn out for us. That's all I'll say on that.
Okay.
But
Let us know if there's anything, we can do to help out, with the grants. I mean, if they need additional letters of support or something.
It's
Okay.
not that. So it is what it is.
Okay. All right. All right. Those are the committee reports, and I think I don't have my phone here with me. Our next meeting would be in January.
On the 4th.
Do we want to have it that close? Does anybody have an issue with January 4th? I
don't think so.
Okay. All right, so then our next meeting would be January 4th at 7 o'clock. Unless there's anything else, can I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, Barry.
I'll
Second.
second.
All right, Beth and Colleen second. I think everybody goes aye.
Aye.
Aye.